There is greatness and there is mastery. And frankly, I'm not just saying this, I believe this with every fiber of my being. There is one living master on the planet today in the particular area of understanding how thoughts become things that has transformed millions and millions and millions of lives and is ever more fresh and green as a student of how the universe works and how we become what we're capable of being. And believes that so strongly for every person he meets. He's written books, he's created programs, he is my mentor, my friend. He has helped me break free and from more things than you'll ever know. Not just me, but the people who are the transformational leaders in the world go to this man. And you've seen him in The Secret, you've heard him on our calls, you've probably taken programs with him. But what you're about to hear from him is the fresh growing edge of everything that he's known about a particular topic that specifically is for you, LMCs. This program, what he made for you, has never been offered before. He made it for you. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bob Proctor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. What do we got on here? There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good. Thank you. You know, Mary come over and she put her arms out and I thought she was going to give me a kiss, and she said, "Your fly's open." Oh, goodness. I can remember when I would have been embarrassed to tears. I thought, God, I'm glad she told me. You know. Let's see if we got this thing turned on. There we go. Yeah, this is Welcome to Mary Morrissey's World. That's really what you're getting involved in. And you know, as you get to know Mary, and the more you get to know her, you're going to want to be involved in her world. Now, I know that you are involved in her world, but you get into it deeper and deeper and deeper. And as you do, everything starts to change. There was a lady here from Paris that wanted to interview me, and we were having trouble connecting, and then I come in here with Kyle, and she was here, so I told her I'd come back, and I did. And one of the questions she was asking about was happiness. And she wanted to know, what companies could do to make people happier, and what governments could do, and I said, nothing. They can't do anything. I said, this is an inside job. It's an individual job. You've got to do it to yourself. And I said, it's really a level of consciousness. And that's really what you're doing, is you're giving people the tools to raise their level of consciousness and live a happy, fulfilled life. And she was asking, does money and happiness go together? And I said, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I know people that are wealthy and they're miserable. And I know people that are poor and they're miserable. No, I know wealthy people that are happy, and I know poor people that are happy. Happiness has got nothing to do with anything outside of you. It's all inside. And that's really what you're going out into the marketplace to sell. You're going to get them in touch with something inside of themselves. I was talking to a small group here yesterday when I was checking into the hotel, and then I had to go away. But I run down just say hello to Mary, and there was one of the rooms she was in with a few people. And I can relate to where you are right now because this is how I started. I started in this business exactly the same as you are. I was enamored with Earl Nightingale. I was listening to his material, and I was driving around with a battery-operated record player and just saturating my brain with the stuff. And I had used it to create quite a nice little company. It operated in 7 cities and 3 countries and earning bucos of money. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. I went down to visit him one day in 1965, I think. And they were down 333 North Michigan in Chicago. And I spent an hour with him, which was quite a feat getting in to see him at all. He was the most listened to man in the history of the broadcasting industry at the time, but I got the hour. And I was talking to him, and when I was leaving his office, I said, Earl, what's the real deal? How do people get it? And he said, well, there's no secret to it. Now, he made the recording, The Strangest Secret, but he said there's no secret to it. That's why he called it The Strangest Secret. He says it's strange that there's a secret, because it isn't a secret. He said you just simply discover what you really love doing and then dedicate your life to it. He said the problem with most people is they never find out what they love doing. Well, at that point, bang, just like that, I had, it was like a euphoric experience. I had a feeling inside of absolute joy because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do what he was doing. And I wanted to do it with him. And when I left there, I made up my mind I was going back, and of course I did. And I spent 5 years there. I had to leave the other company, and I had to do all kinds of things. But anyway, I paid $5,000, and I became a distributor. Now, this is around 1966, I guess. So $5,000 was quite a little bit of money at that time. Even if you had a fair amount of money, it was still a fair amount. And I ended up getting a shipment in, and I had the dining room table full of records and books. And my wife says, what are you going to do with all this stuff? The family thought I had lost it, But I had been on the fire department, and I quit to go and wash floors. They thought I had lost it, because the fire department was the best job I'd ever had. No formal education, no business experience. I shouldn't have even got the job. And I was quitting to go and wash floors. But I had Earl Nightingale's material, and I had Napoleon Hill's material. And so I ended up washing floors in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, and London, England, and doing a fair amount of money. And then I wasn't crazy anymore. But then when I was leaving that to go and sell records, then I was crazy again. So, you're going to have your friends and relatives and neighbors say, you're going to what? You got to be crazy. And believe me, they'll say it. And they're going to say it often, and there's going to be times when you feel like you're whacking your head against the wall, and you're going to think, damn, maybe they're right. Because I couldn't sell the stuff. I just could not sell it. And I would go in, I had a film, a reel-to-reel film, and a great big 16 millimeter projector, one of those great big things. You'd almost rupture you carrying it. And then I had a big screen about the size of that, only it was a portable one. And I had the programs, and I'd go lugging all this stuff into an office. And the people are looking at me, And I was selling 12 records. Only they were little 7-inch, they weren't much bigger than a CD. They were 7-inch discs. They were 33 RPMs for anybody that knows anything about records. They were the same as the LPs, the long-playing records, but they were small. Now, you could buy a large record, a long-playing record, the big ones, for, I don't know, maybe 50, 75 cents, something like that. And I was charging $245 for 12 of these little ones. And the people, some of them didn't even comment. They just looked at me like I was crazy. And you go in, and you're going to be so proud. The packaging is so nice. And you're going to want to show this. And what are you going to charge for this? $2,000, $3,000? You're going to say, are you crazy? You're not going to sell it. And so I thought, what am I going to do? Now, I was into listening to records. I mean, I was hooked on the records. And Elmer Wheeler was a great salesman. I mean, Elmer Wheeler made the same talk 3,000 times. He just kept selling the same thing. And on the record, he said, people don't buy quarter-inch drills because they want quarter-inch drills. They buy quarter-inch drills because they want quarter-inch holes. Then in another part, he said, you sell the sizzle, not the steak. And I was like, ding, 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 ding. Something started to work inside. Now, I could go in and sell this building with this. You want to have a good pen and a piece of paper. Don't go in with great big pads. Don't go in with a briefcase. I know you've got a new briefcase, and you're proud of it. It's leather. Leave it at home. And don't carry anything. And you've disarmed them. And when they say, why are you here? Say, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really not quite sure yet why I'm here. But if you would permit me to ask you a couple of questions, we both might be happy that I'm here. And then again, we both might not. And say, and there's different ways of approaching it. You could say, I want you to think of two people. If you're calling on a company, two people out there in the office. And get them to give you their names. Well, there's Bill and Betty. Okay, how long have you known Bill and Betty? Quite a while. And you know they can do a better job than they do, don't you? Well, should they do a pretty good job? No. I said, I would imagine they do a pretty good job, or you probably wouldn't have them here. But you know they can do a better job than they're doing. Well, yeah. No, I said, if they did the better job, it wouldn't cost you any more, but the increased productivity would go right to the bottom line, wouldn't it? Yeah. If there were salespeople, let's suppose they just made 2 extra sales a week. What's the average sale? They'd say, no, what is the average sale? And he'd tell you, well, multiply that by 100. That goes right to the bottom line. You see, I can show you how to do that. Now, I was listening to a lady yesterday morning, who was absolute genius. And I asked Mary if she knew her. She said, yeah, I had lunch with her. At this point, you'd say, do you know that the lost hours in America are astronomical of people that go to work, yet they're not doing what they know how to do? It's costing billions of dollars. Billions. Can you imagine what would happen right in this company if every employee increased their productivity by just 10%? That goes right to the bottom line. Can you imagine what would happen with this company? Well, you don't have to imagine, because I've got something that'll do that. And if you're interested, I'd like to talk to you about it. Now, what I've just said is on film. You can take and you can screw around with that and add some words to it. But the bottom line, put it down. Do you know? And you state the problem in general terms. Do you know? And then, can you imagine? Can you imagine? And you state the benefit of solving that problem if it were solved. And then, well, you don't have to imagine, because I've got the tools that'll do it. Now, do you know, if you watch that, I guess they get this film, Mary? If you watch that, and you do that over and over and over and over again, and you literally live it, You stop and think of all the money that company's losing because people aren't doing what they know how to do. When you were a little girl, your mother probably said, "Why are you doing that?" And you say, "I don't know." And she'll say, "What do you mean you don't know? You know better." You'll say, "I know." "Well, why are you doing it?" "I don't know." See, this is everybody. People are doing things they don't want to do. It's giving them results they don't want to get, and they do it anyway. They don't know why. Your program will show them why, and you can eliminate those things. So you eliminate things they don't want to do, and you start to add things that they do want to do. That all goes to the bottom line. And if they're on commission, that's the yeast that raises the dough. I mean, they'll just start earning more money. Well, I want to run through something here. What did I do there? I did something. I want to show you, I want to go through, Mary wanted me to go through a basic stick person presentation. Now, I've added a couple of bells and whistles to it, but this has to be, of all the things I've learned, and I've been studying for over 50 years, the most valuable idea I have ever touched on. I was talking to someone, who was it I was talking to about CT? You were talking, yeah. You got to admit, it. Well, when I meet you, and I walk up and we shake hands, I know that I'm not touching you. I know I'm not looking at you. I will never touch you. I will never see you. And you've got to get this straight. You're looking at their body, but that is not the person. What you've got in your hand is not them. It's their hand. You never hear anyone say, "am hand," my body. You're dealing with their mind. Now, if I start to talk to you about a person, I don't tell you the person's name and I don't tell you where they are, but if you could find them, they will show you how to become a multimillionaire and very happy. Where would you go to find them? You wouldn't know, would you? You don't know what they look like. You don't know what their name is. You don't know where they are. But you know that's how people are operating with their mind? No one's ever seen the mind. They don't even know what the mind is. They think this is Susan. This isn't Susan. This isn't Bob. I'm not Bob. Bob's my name. You got to burn this into your mind. You're not talking to Susan when you're talking to the body. You've got to understand how the mind functions, and you've got to be able to read where their mind's at when you go to sell them. You can watch their body. Their body is an instrument of their mind. You can really get tuned into their energy, and you will feel what's going on, and you can feel the shift in their mind. You'll be at the point where they're that close to making a sale, bang, they'll stop, and their energy shifts. They've hit what's called a terror barrier, and they back away. You got to be able to help them through that. I believe the stick person is a marvelous tool to help you do that. Now, let's look at this. Let's understand what the stick person represents. Stick person represents everything that is you. You are a spiritual being. You are a spiritual being. Now, I want you to stop and think of what that means. Spirit is. That's all the theologian can tell you. Is neither created nor destroyed, is the cause and effect of itself, is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time, is all-knowing and all-powerful. That's all they can tell you. They can't tell you anything more. Spirit is the cause and effect of itself, is 100% evenly present in all places at the same time, is all-knowing, is all-powerful, and you are spirit. So when you say that, you're talking about yourself. Now, most people act, well, it's just me. They're advertising their ignorance. They don't know that. You live in a physical body. Now, do you know that you are the only creature on the planet that is